All right, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm audible. Please let me know in the YT chat if I am audible, so that I know that I'm heard. Okay, I think I am audible. So let us get started with the live. So basically, today we are doing the live mock solving of SimIPMAT Indore 19. That was an All India Open IPMAT. So I'm hoping all the students who took the test have seen their All India ranks and have done the analysis. The purpose of today's session is to help you understand how I would take the test, or how I would go through the paper if I were solving it as a test. So just to give you a disclaimer, yes, I have not seen the questions of this paper yet, just to ensure that I am able to give you an honest a kind of an experience as to how I would take the test if I were solving it as a paper. All right. So yes, that's the whole objective. Your task for during this entire live solving is that there would be certain questions where I would maybe go wrong. Sometimes I would make mistakes. There would be certain verbal ability questions where I might not be so great, because I am predominantly or primarily a QA mentor. So therefore, in such questions where you have done better than me, you can identify that, okay, you are good at that area. However, there would be certain questions in QA maybe where I might be very quick. So see if you can, if you would have been able to, or if you know that concept, were you able to apply the same concept in the test or not? Okay, or whether would you be able to kind of apply the same methods in any of your future tests? Okay, so that's the whole objective, as to understand how we need to do the ABC analysis, or how we skip questions and pick questions during the test. Okay, now while I will be solving the test, I would also keep one notepad open. So OneNote is the app that I generally use for rough work. So while solving, I would keep speaking loudly, or keep solving a little loudly, so that what is the thought process behind me solving any question, or me leaving any question, etc. Okay, so this is my notepad which I'll use. Okay, so let me launch the test and get going with the live solving, right? Before we begin the test, if there's any question, you can post that. Maybe someone from the IMS team would be able to help you out. Okay, so I'm just seeing in how much of the window will I be able to fit this test. Okay, so yeah, that's how kind of we'll proceed with the session. Just one moment. Yeah, I'll just fix this over here in this much of the space, and the remaining part is this. So I hope this works properly. All right, yeah, this is something which I just need to test. Yes, my scribbling is visible. Yes, I can see that. All right. So this would be at the, in fact, I'll just not see what I am writing myself. Just getting myself repositioned so that the Wi-Fi and the internet and everything is properly in place. So I hope the stream is live. Yes. So everything working fine. All right, so I'll start with the solving. The next 40 minutes is going to be QA short answer section, 15 minutes and 15 questions in 40 minutes. Since I've not seen the questions, I'll just approach the section the way I would do in any of the tests which I would take, right? So I'll get started with this. And ready to begin? Yes. All right. Present ages of Harsh and Omar are in the ratio are X and Y years respectively. If Harsh's age, normally, what I do is before I proceed with the entire solving, there is this feature of question paper in the actual paper as well. So just go through the questions, especially in the short answer section. This helps us get a clear understanding of what kind of questions would I be solving. So present ages of Harsh and Omar are X and Y years respectively. If Harsh's age is decreased by 3 years and Omar's age is increased by 11 years, then the new ratio of their ages would be 1:3. The sum of their present ages is 44. Find the, okay, I think this is a very easy type A question. I'll do that. Square, this thing. Square shaped grating tool ABCD is used to grate onions. A circular ring internally touches the adjacent sides of the tool AB and BC. At M and N respectively, the grating tool has a side of length 18 centimeter. The circular intersects the other two sides of the tool CD and DA at P and Q respectively. If the center of the ring is O, find the sum of the areas of NOP, which is a part of onion ring, and area NCP, which is a part of the grater which lies outside the ring. Okay, I think I might have to draw the diagram. I'm not able to clearly visualize. Maybe I'll come to it in the second round. 5 teams PQRST, each consisting of 12 members, are going on expeditions to 5 different locations. Each team has members from 3 different specializations: medics, engineers, trackers. Sum of factors of the total number of trackers is this: the total number of engineers is more than the average number of employees per specialization. The total number of engineers is more than the average number of employees per specialization. Okay, there are only 3 specializations. Fine, so it's more than 8. The total members in each team is 12. Total members in each team is 12. The number of engineers in each team is distinct and increases in the order PQRST. The total number of trackers is less than the. I think this is too lengthy. I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll keep it for later. But yeah, seems to be a doable one, but a little lengthy to go through the entire data. So question number 1 is first, which I'll do. Mehul and Nandan start running from the same point. Mehul runs for X while Nandan runs for Y. After which they together cover a distance of 9,000 meters. If X and Y are 2 positive integers and X is greater than Y, then the minimum possible value of X plus Y. This is fairly doable. 180 plus 75 together, if they're running for some time, I think I'll be able to answer this one. Mehul runs for X seconds, while after which they together cover a distance of this thing. What is the minimum possible value of X plus Y? I think I'll go try the 4th one. Question number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4th is one which I'll do. 5th one, let ABC be the smallest, second smallest, third and 4th smallest numbers respectively that have exactly 12 factors each. So these are numbers which have exactly 12 factors. I think I'll be able to handle this question because I know how to go back from number of factors to these things. So smallest numbers which have exactly 12 factors, I'll be able to handle this. Although it really seems to be a little lengthy, but I'm sure I'll be able to get to the answer. The way high is a total of 40 men and women, both not equal in number for contractual. The total number of hours spent on labor category is the same. Each labor category is the same. If instead he had bought men at hourly wages, the total amount spent on each labor category is the same. if instead he had bought men at the early wages of women and women at the early wages of men, he would have spent rupees 1179 and 524 respectively on men and women. How much part of the work in percentage will be done by both workforces working together, such that men take 8 days to complete the work and women do the same work, given that B greater than A, and they are the roots of the quadratic equation. This is thing. I'll mark this one. Seems to be a little tricky, but I think this can be done. So question number 1. So I have question number 1, question number 4. Did I choose question number 5? Sorry. Question number 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6 a little doubtful. 7. 7, a polynomial p of x leaves the remainder 3x plus 5 and divided by x square minus 4. It leaves the remainder 10 when divided by x minus 3. If p of x is a cubic polynomial of the form ax cubed plus bx square plus cx plus d, find the value of 5 times a plus b plus c plus d, given that a minus d is minus 26 by 15. Find the value of 5 times a plus b plus c plus d, given that a minus b is polynomial p of x leaves the remainder of this when divided by x square minus 4. It leaves a remainder of 10 when divided by x minus 3. P of x is also polynomial this. I might have to work on this if I have to answer this. 5 teams. Okay, there was a question on this earlier as well. So this PQRST is something which has 2 questions linked to it. All right. I'll check that in the end whether question number 3 and 5 are to be done or not. So 3 and 9, sorry. Cos of this is such that a cube is cos of this. Okay. And theta is between 0 to 2 pi. The sum of values of theta is a pi, and this is this constant a plus b. A is cos square theta plus sine square theta. So a is okay. So cos theta sine. Okay, it's fine. So I think I would be able to manage this question as well. 10th is something which I would want to try. Log of this, and log of this are the ranks of 3 nations participating in participating in the UN conference and do form an AP. Then the number of factors of log this into, okay, these are the ranks of 3 nations participating in the UN conference and do form an AP. Then the number of factors of this into this is, given that x is greater than 1, enter your response. This seems to be very lengthy, but I'm sure given the complexity, this would be a very easy question. I just have to work smartly around it. I'll just spend maybe a couple of minutes on this question while I'm working on it. X and y satisfy this equation, then the sum of all possible values of mod of y minus x and y parallelly satisfy this equation. I think I just have to take quadrants and solve these equations. I think I'll get 4 sets of equations. So question number 12 is something which I have seen. X people attend this okay. One team member stopped after hugging Y mates as everyone at distance and reduced your poor body odor. X and Y related with each other as this. Okay, the total number of hugs that were exchanged is X and Y are known. X, this is this. The total number of hugs that were exchanged. This is pretty easy. It's square root of a third plus permutations, combinations. I think I should definitely do the 13th one. 14th, okay, I think I've almost spent in the Telugu domain language test. The number of students who did not appear for Hindi is half the number of students who failed in this. Who did not appear, and basically within appeared there's pass and fail. So the last 14th one, Anasa went for an eye test along with a friend, Hansa and Jansa, as the 3 were complaining of nausea and they were present by integral values of x lying in the range. Okay. for the above inequality looks too complicated. I'll have to solve log, then inequations and everything. I think I'll pass the 14th and the 15th one for now and get to the solving of the questions that I've identified first. All right. Question number one. So I have 30 minutes left and I've already identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that I'll do. Maybe type B is 2 more. So 7 to 9 is what I'm expecting to solve. If I'm able to solve 10, that would be maybe a good thing, very good thing. Okay. Present age of Harsh and Umar and X and Y years respectively. Harsh's age is decreased by 3 years and Umar's age is increased by 11 years. The ratio of the new ages is 1:3. So Harsh's age is decreased by 3. So X minus 3 upon Omar's age is increased by 11. Y plus 11. The ratio is 1/3, which I solve. So that's 3x minus 9 equals y plus 11. And if the sum of their present ages is 44. So basically I can simply put y is x minus 44 minus x. So for that will give me 4x is equal to 44 plus 11. 44 plus 11 would become 55. 55 plus 9 is 64. I'll get x is equal to 16. If x is equal to 16, sum of their present ages is x is equal to 16. So y would be equal to 28. So therefore 16 cube would be 16 cube is 2 raised to the power 12, 4096 plus y square. Y square would be 28 square. That is 28 square is 784. So 84, this thing would be 80 and 40 plus 7, 47 plus 1 in the carry, 4880. Yes, so the answer should be 4880. I'll enter that 4880. I'll just confirm 16 cube 4096. 2048 4096. Yes, 28 square is 784. 4180 plus 7, 4880. Yes, that's correct as per my understanding. Let's move ahead. Question number 2. I'll come back to it later. Seems a little confusing. Question number 3. Okay, this is an LR set. It appeared very different in the this thing, but there are 2 questions. I'll come back to it in the end. Mehul and Nandan start running towards the same point. Start running from the same point towards north at speeds of 180 meters per second and 75 meters per second. Mehul runs for x seconds while Nandan runs for y seconds, and together they cover a distance of 9,000 meters. Great. So therefore this is 180x plus 75, 180x plus 75y equal to 9,000. And if I just divide throughout by 15, so if I divide throughout by 15, 180 would become 180 divided by 15 is 12x plus 5y. And if I divide this by 15, this would become 600. So 12x plus 5y is equal to 600. And okay, I think I'll just reframe myself or reposition so that while I'm looking into my working board, okay, or I can just simply look into over here and look, yeah. 12x plus 5y is 600. And now the question was x and y are 2 positive integers. X is greater than y, then the minimum possible value of x plus y. X is greater than y. So this is a special equation. X is greater than y. X could be 50 and y could be 0, or x could reduce by 5, y could increase by 12. So basically x could be 45, y could be 12. As I can see, the sum keeps on increasing. X could be 40, y could be 24, x could be 35, y could be 36, and so on. Just let me verify. 35 into 12, 420 plus 180 is 600. So these are all valid solutions. I can see as I'm going ahead, the total is increasing. So the total is increasing. If x and y are 2 positive integers, they are positive integers. so none of them can be 0. So the minimum case would be x 45, y 12. The answer would be 57. So minimum possible value for x plus y is 57, because next up it becomes 64, next up it becomes 71, and so on. There was a, I don't know, interruption in the internet connection. So I hope I'm back live. I wasted a minute here. So yes, basically, let's get back to solving. The timer is not stopping. So we were given, so the answer to this one is 57. I'll go ahead and save this one. For some reason, this isn't saving. So I'll just reload the test. So the answer that for this one that I was getting was 50. Yeah, moving on. Let A, B, C, B, D be the smallest, second smallest, third smallest, and the fourth smallest numbers respectively that have exactly 12 factors. 12 factors. How do I achieve 12 factors? 12 can be achieved as 2 raised to the power 11, or 12 factors could be for 12 factors could have been achieved as 6 into 2, or it could have been achieved as 3 into 4, or it could have been achieved as 3 into 2 into 2. I don't think there's any breakup. So there's only a 12 could have been achieved as a 12. So in that case, the smallest number would have been 2 raised to 11. If it was 6 into 2, the smallest case would be 2 raised to the power 6 into 3 raised to the power 1. This one would be 2 cube into 3 square. And basically, this value is 512. The value here is the value over here 512. 2 raised to the power 6 is 64. 64 into 3, 192. The value over here would be 2 cube into 9. That's 8 into 9. That's 72. And in this case, it would have been 2 cube. So 2 square into 3 into 5. 2 square is 4. 4 into 3 is 5. Basically, 2 square into 3 raised to the power 1 into 5 raised to the power 1. So in that case, the number of factors would have been 12. And the value would have been 4 into 3, 12, 12 into 5, 16. I think the smallest value that we are achieving is over here. So this is the smallest. Could we have got another value in the same format? So instead of 2 square into 3 into 5, if I would have made it as 2 square into 3 into 7, that would have given me 84. But 72 is smaller than that. So clearly, the second smallest number would be 72. So first smallest number is 60. The second smallest number is 72. Now the third smallest number, can I achieve any number between 84 and 60? So 2 cube into 3 square, could I have made it as 3 cube into 2 square? So that would have given me 108. So this could also give me 108 as one of the numbers. And I have 84. I don't think there'll be any other number 80 between 72 and 84 which I'd be achieved, which I'd be able to achieve with 12 factors. And 67 to 80, 84, sorry. And the fourth number that I could get, is there any number smaller than 108 which is possible? So if I would have got 2 square into 5 into 7, 35. 35 into 4 is 140. No. Or maybe 2 square into Acha, or could I have done it this way? 3 square into 2 into 7. 3 square into 2 into 5. So 2 into 5, 10. 10 into 3 square is 9. This would give me 90. So 108, before 108, I am getting a number which is smaller. I'm taking 3 square into 2 into 5. So yes, these are the four numbers. I think these are the smallest four numbers which have exactly 12 factors. Would there be anything else? No. 2 square, I started with 2 squares. I started with 3 square. And then there was 2 cube, 3 square, 3 square, 2 cube. Yeah. So 60, 72, 84, 90. So basically find the value of A plus C. A plus C would be 60 plus 84, 144 divided by D minus B. 144 divided by 18. 144 divided by 18. 18 goes 8 times. Hence the answer is 8. 7 next. Perfect. The way hires 40 men. What was my list? Was this a type A for me? Question number 4, then directly question number 10. So I'll come back to this question later. Question number 10. Cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta, cos theta, and A cube is this. So A cube. Okay. So coming back to my working. A cube is equal to cos of pi by 2. Cos of pi by 2 is 0. Minus sin pi by 2 minus 1. Sin pi by 2 is 1. And cos pi by 2 is 0. So 0 minus 1, 1 and 0. This is A cube. If this is A cube and cos of theta, so A cube. So if I just were to find out A cube in terms of A cube, so A square would be what? A square would be cos theta, so minus sin theta, cos square theta into cos square theta minus. One second. I think I need to be a little patient here. So first row into first column, cos square theta minus sin square theta. Cos square theta minus sin square theta I know is cos 2 theta. So I'm directly writing cos 2 theta. Then I have first row, second column. So minus sin theta cos theta. And first row, second column. Minus sin theta cos theta. And then second minus sin theta cos theta. So minus 2 sin theta cos theta. So that's basically cos sine of, or that's rather minus sine 2 theta. That's minus sine 2 theta. Second, basically the bottom element, cos sine cos into cos sine. So that basically this is going to be sine 2 theta. And the last one is going to be minus sine square theta plus cos square theta. So that's actually again cos 2 theta. So this is what I'm getting as A square. Therefore, A cube would be this into A. So I'll just write the A. It's causing me a inconvenience. So cos theta minus sine theta, and cos theta. So I multiply this with A. I get A cube as, A cube would come out as cos 2 theta into, should I have converted that or not? Cos 2 theta and this thing, cos theta minus cos 2 theta into cos theta minus sin 2 theta into sin theta. So cos 2 theta cos theta minus sin 2 theta into sin theta. So basically this is cos A cos B minus sin A sin E. This is sin B. That is actually cos of A plus B. So this actually would come out to be cos of 3 theta. If I were to just extend the trend, I think, it will follow the same thing. If I try to find the second element, first row, second column, so that would be minus sin theta cos 2 theta and minus sin 2 theta minus sin 2 theta cos theta. So basically that would come out to be minus common sine of 3 theta. And basically I'm extending the trend. So basically this is cos theta minus sine 3 theta, sine of 3 theta, and cos of 3 theta. And basically this would give, this is a cube, but a cube cos of 3 theta is 0. So therefore cos of 3 theta would be 0. So 3 theta has to be, cos of 3 theta is 0. So therefore cos of 3 theta is 0. Therefore therefore 3 theta has to be odd multiples of pi by 2. So that's 2n plus 1, and theta is between, okay. So basically 3 theta is pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 or 5 pi by 2 or 7 pi by 2. This goes on till we reach 6 pi, right? So this is only 3.5. So yeah, basically we know theta will be pi by 6, or it will be pi by 6, or it will be 3 pi by 6, that's pi by 2, or it will be 5 by pi by 6, or it will be 7 pi by 6, or it will be 9 pi by 6, or it will be 11 pi by 6. These are the 6 values that that theta could have. Would it also satisfy this thing? Sine of 3 theta is equal to -1, or basically sine of 3 theta is 1. So therefore 3 theta, sine of 3 theta 1. 3 theta happens 1 at, so it happens only at pi by 2, and yeah, it will not happen at 3 pi by 2, it will not happen at 7 pi by 2, it will not happen at 11 pi by 2. So 3 pi by 6, 7 pi by 6, 11 pi by 6 are gone, and a and b are co-prime. Sum of values of theta is this. So pi by 6 plus 5 pi by 6 plus 9 pi by 6. So 6 pi by 6 plus 9 pi by 6, that's 15 pi by 6. So 15 pi by 6, and if I cancel out the common terms, that's 5 pi by 2. So a plus b turns out to be 7. Was this a wrong decision to solve? I don't know, but let's go ahead. 11th question is something which I had marked. These 3 numbers are in, if x is to the power 4 minus 2x square plus 1, that's nothing but x square minus 1 the whole square. Then that's nothing but 2x square minus 2x square plus 1 the whole square. And I'm pretty sure this is nothing but 6x square plus 3 the whole cube. Are the 3 ranks of these numbers do form an AP? Okay. Be careful. X square minus 1 the whole square. And these 3 terms are in AP. So therefore, they basically the logs are in AP. Therefore, I think, yeah, that's cube root. So we'll see. These 3 numbers are in AP. Therefore, they are the values inside the log must be in GP, but the base should be the same. So the third one is log to the base 27. If I take, if I make it 9, that's log to the base 20 and 27. To make it a 9, I'll have to take out divide by 3, multiply by 2. So basically, there'll be a divide by 3 and multiply by 2. So the power will become 2/3. Yeah. So I get it. So log of this into this, that's 6x square plus 3. That was the whole cube, but I need to take the 2/3 power. So that will become the whole square. So this square into this square is equal to the square of the middle one. The middle number already was 2x plus 1, the whole square, and the square of it. So this raised to the power 4. So this thing is equal to this, and if I were to solve it now, x square minus 1, this is this, given that x is this, what does this come out to be? X square minus 1 into this is equal to this. Is there a way to solve it? Therefore, okay, taking square root on both the sides. If I were to take the square root, Wouldn't be allowed. Yeah, this is the whole square. This is the whole square. Product of two perfect squares should be positive only. So maybe, you know, I'll just take it x square minus 1 into 6x square plus 3 is equal to 2x square plus, sorry, 4x square plus 4x plus 1. So sorry, 4x plus 1. So therefore, this is x square minus 1 and this is 6x square minus 1. This is 2x square plus 1 the whole square. So 4x to the power 4, 4x square. So if I multiply this, this gives me 6x to the power 4 minus 6x square plus 3x square. So that's plus 3x square. And the constant term would be minus 3 equals. Again, here I'll get x to the power 4. So 2x raised to the power 4 minus x to the power minus 6x square plus this. So this is minus 3x square. So here I'll get minus 7x square. Minus 6x square plus 3x square. And here I had minus 3. From here I'll get a plus 1, which becomes a minus 4. Two factors of 8, which have a difference of 7. 8 and 1. So basically x square would turn out to be, x square would come out to be split, change, divide. So that will be minus 8 plus 1. Change the sign. 8 and minus 1 and divide by 2. So x square cannot be negative. So x square is 4. Therefore, x is equal to plus minus 2. Or x square is 4 basically. So if I just substitute x square is 4 over here. 4. X square is 4. So x to the power 4 is 16. 16 into 4. 64. 64 plus 4 into 4. 64 plus 81. Log of 81 to the base 9 is 2 into. The first number would have been, because this is the same expression over here. So I would easily get the GP. So this is 16 minus 2 into 4. That's 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. 8 plus 1, 9. This was 9. This is 81. So the third number is 9, 81, 729. So basically this is log of 81 to the base 9. The first term is log of 81 to the base 9. That's 2. Log of 729 to the base 27 is also 2. So 2 into 2 is 4. 4 raised to the power 10 is nothing but, so I'll use the calci. 4 raised to the power 10 is what I'm getting. So basically that's 1024 into 1024. And that comes out to be 1048576. I hope I'm doing it right. I have a feeling that I might have done some calculation mistake here, but I don't have the time to, you know, check further. So I'll go ahead with this, save and next. This is a pretty straightforward one. I know how to deal with it. 4 equations. Mod of 2x plus x. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. The first quadrant, the equation would be 2x plus x. So that will be 3x. Now I'll be a little fast. 3x plus y is equal to 5. And the second one would be, in the first quadrant, y is also equal. So that's x plus y equal to 15. Solving it simultaneously, I'll get 2x is equal to minus, that will not give me any solution because x is coming out to be negative. Second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. So minus 2x plus x. So that's minus x plus y is equal to 5. Second quadrant, y is positive. So basically that will be x plus y, because y mod of y will open as it is, and that's 15. I add them up. 2x comes out to 2y comes out to be 2y comes out to be 20. 2y is 20. 2y is 20. Y comes out to be 10. X comes out to be 5. But unfortunately, x and y, x had to be negative in the second quadrant, so therefore no solution here. Third quadrant, the solution that I'll get would be Third quadrant, both x and y are negative. So minus 2x plus x. So minus x plus y is equal to 5. And that would be y is negative. So x minus 2y minus y. So x minus 3y is 15. Solving them simultaneously, add them up. Minus 2y is equal to 20. Y comes out to be minus 10. Y is minus 10. And x minus y is x is equal to y minus 5. So that will x will come out to be minus 15. So we have a solution in the third quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, minus x is positive. So that's 3x plus y equals 5. And the second equation opens as x minus 3y equal to 15. Okay. Solving them simultaneously, multiplying the first one by 3. So that becomes 9x plus 3y equals 15. 9x plus 3y. Therefore, adding them up, 8x comes out to be 0. X is 0. X is 0. X is 0. Y would come out to be x is 0. Y comes out to be minus 5. I think this is also a valid solution because this does not violate any condition. If I just put x equal to 0 and y equal to minus 5, x equal to 0 and y equal to minus 5. Huh? Acha, no. The first equation itself is not getting satisfied. How I have solved it this way? Okay, sorry. I add them up. Y and y cancels out. 10x is equal to 0. So x is 0. Yeah, if I put x equal to 0, minus 3y is 15. I need to write the fourth quadrant equation correctly, I guess. Fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. So 3x plus y is 5. Yes. And x minus 2y minus y. So x minus 3y is 15. Yes, if I've done it correctly. So I multiply the first one by 3. 9x x minus 3y plus 3y cancels out. Add them up. I'm sorry. 15 plus 15, 10x is 30. 10x is 30. Therefore, x is equal to 3. If I put x equal to 3, x equal to 3, y comes out to be 3 to 3, 9. 9 plus 6 is equal to 9 minus 4. So y comes out to be minus 4. Yes, satisfying. Yeah. So x is equal to 3, y is equal to minus 4. And the other solution that I got was x is equal to minus 15, y is equal to minus 10. There are two valid solutions. Therefore, the sum of all the possible values of mod of y minus x. Y minus x, the difference over here is 4. The mod of it is 5. And here the difference between the values of y minus x is minus 7. Mod of it is 7. Sum of all these values is nothing but 7 plus 5. That's sum of this mod is 12. So therefore the answer is 12. Yeah. 2 minutes, something seconds. I think I'll have to be really fast in this one. So let's see. X people in a team attempt this. This is okay. I know the square root thing. Root of 22 plus that root of 22, and 3 goes inside. It becomes 2 root 13. 13 into 6. 13 into 9. 13 into 9. 13 into 9. That's 117. Two numbers whose multiplication is 117 and addition is 22. 13 into 9, 13 plus 9. Great. So I've got the square root of this. The square root of this would be root 13 minus root 9. That's 3. Okay, sorry, there's a plus sign here. So root 13 plus 3. So my x is 13 and my y is 3. Great. So I have x and y. If I have the x and y, x people in a team attend a function. Every person hugs every other member exactly once. One team member stopped after hugging y teammates. So normally they would have hugged. Each one would have hugged 13 people. So total number of hugs would have been 13C2. 13C2, that is 13C2 would be 13 into 12 by 2. That's 13 into 6, 78 hugs. But the first person, one person stopped after 3 hugs. So that means that person did not do the other 9 hugs because every person will hug 12 other people. So therefore, that person did not do 9 hugs. So that will be give me the answer as 69. Thank you very much. I don't know. I'll just put 10 as the answer to every question which I've missed. So since I have not been able to attempt them, but I should definitely give every question a try. So 10, 10, 10. Why did I not answer this one? Huh, I have answered. Yeah. I have answered. I have answered. Oh, there were 3 questions related to this set. All right, the first set done, the first section done. Moving on to the next one. There are class of 30 students. Everyone expect this. Now, this one is a little tricky because here I have to be very, very fast. Only the very easy questions should be attempted. Or, maybe if the paper is difficult. So there's a class of 30 students. Every student is expected to square their roll numbers and multiply with positive integral roll numbers below their and multiplied by all positive integral roll numbers below their own up to 1 factorial. Every student is expected to square their roll number, multiply it by all positive and integral roll numbers below their own up to 1. So basically, what everyone, and Tn is nothing but n square into n multiplied by all positive below their own. So basically, n square is multiplied by n minus 1 factorial. So this is nothing but n into n minus 1 factorial. Sorry, n into n factorial. This is n into n factorial. All right. Now, and submit it to Pragyan. Pragyan, who after performing this exercise for his roll number, adds all such numbers and calls them the sum P. There's a class of 30 students and submit it to Pragyan. Pragyan, who after performing this exercise for his roll number, adds all such numbers and calls the sum P. Okay, basically, summation from 1 to 30 for n into n factorial. Yeah, and this is called P. P divided by 899, what will be the remainder? P divided by 899. I know 899. 899 is 29 into 31. 899 is 29 into 31. And I also have the property related to n into n minus n into n factorial. 1 into 1 factorial is 1. If I add 2 into 2 factorial, that's 5. If I add 3 into 3 factorial, that's, if I add a 3 into 3 factorial, that comes out to be 3 into 3 factorial would be what? 3 into 3 factorial is 3 into 3 factorial is 3 into 3 factorial is 18. 18 plus that's 23. So that's 4 factorial minus 1. So this summation is going to be 31 factorial minus 1. 31 factorial minus 1, and this is divided by 899. 31 factorial is divisible by 899 because it contains a 31 as well as a 29. So hence the remainder is minus 1. And calls the sum P, the sum of the digits of the remainder. Okay. So the remainder is 898. And 898, 8 plus 9, 17, 17 plus 8. 17 plus 8 is 25. 25 divided by 899, the remainder is 25. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been so disappointed. Which of the following numbers is divisible by 5 raised to the power 10 plus 2 raised to the power 13? So option A is definitely it's A cube plus B cube. It's divisible by A plus B. So option A is definitely correct. Now I just need to check if there's anyone else also who is divisible. Other option which is also divisible. 2 raised to 10, 2 raised to 14, 2 raised to 14. No, 2 raised to 29, 2 raised to 43. I'm not sure about this. Just a rough. Basically, I can see the first one. I'm not sure whether it could be more than one of the above. I'll clear response. I'll not take that chance. Paraphrase quadratic polynomial such that P of 0, P of 1, P of 0, P of 2 is equal to 0. So P of basically this is a let me just see if I'm able to handle this. P of 0 into P of 2 minus P of 0 into P of 1 is equal to 0. So basically P of 0 into P of 2 is equal to P of 0 into P of 1. One case would be P of 0 is equal to 0 or P of 1 is equal to P of 2. These are the two solutions possible for this equation. But P of 0 is 2. So this is not the solution. Hence P of 1 is equal to P of 2. And P of 3 is 21. Okay. A plus B plus C is equal to 4A plus 2B plus C. And therefore I'll get 3A plus B is equal to 0 or B is equal to minus 3A. And if B is equal to minus 3A, and the third one is if B is equal to minus 3A, first of all. That's the only thing that I'm getting over here. Okay, if B is equal to minus 3A, what we have is A plus 4A plus 9A. So 4A plus 4A, 5A, 5A plus 9A, 14A plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6B. 6B is as good as minus 18A. So minus 4A minus 18A plus 3C is equal to 21. Therefore minus 4A plus 3C is 21. And therefore 3C is equal to, or therefore C is equal to sure. 4A, okay. So therefore A is equal to 21, 3C minus 21 by 4. If I substitute that in P of 4 would be 16A. 16A, that will be 4 times of this. So that will be 12. That will be 12C minus 21 minus 3A into 4. So plus 16A minus 12. So that's 4A, and that will be 4 times of, that will be simply 3C minus 21. And then there'll be a plus C. Not sure. Let's move on. Mark this for later. Can be done. I think I'm missing out something. Aman borrowed 58,000 at compound. He repaid S as down payment and he paid T at the end of first year, Q at the end of second year, and rupees R at the end of. I'll come back to this later. Not very straightforward. A researcher is tracking a biological process where two related metrics, oxygen saturation and pulse rate, are observed to decay over time in minutes. The decay is governed by the following system of equations. ln x is equal to 5 minus 0.1t. ln y is equal to 2 minus 0.4t. Okay. Pi and proportionality constant. Okay, fine. Therefore, x is equal to e raised to 5 minus e raised to 5 minus 0.1 t, or basically it's nothing but 5 minus 1 e raised to 5 upon e raised to t by 10. Okay, and y is equal to e raised to 2 minus 0.4 t. 0.4 is 4 by 10, 2 by 5 t. So upon e raised to 2 by 5 t, because it comes with a minus sign. X is this, y is this, which are the following this thing. Okay, all right. So if I had to make the power of t same across both of them, x raised to the power 4 would be e raised to the power 5 upon e raised to the power 20 upon e raised to the power 2 by 5 t. And therefore from here I would have said e raised to the power 20 upon x to the power 4 is equal to e square upon y, and therefore y is directly proportional to x to the power, y is directly proportional to y is equal to x raised to the power 4. Yeah, y is directly proportional to x, and proportional constant is e raised to the power minus 10. Sorry, e raised to the power minus 18. Yes, that's correct. Y is x cube is not, yeah, sorry. X, y is equal to k, this, yes, absolutely right. The sum of the first x terms of a geometric progression is the same as the sum of first y terms of the same geometric progression. Sum of the first x terms is the same as the sum of first y terms, and x is more than y. Clearly, the number of terms, there's a change in sign. Otherwise, the sum of terms cannot be 0. So sum of terms is this, and x minus y is even. X minus y is even if the sum of first 11 terms is 12. Then the ninth term of the geometric progression is what? The sum of first 11 terms is 12. Then what would be the ninth term of the geometric progression? I would rather, think of, instead of solving it using methods, if the sum of first 11 terms is 12 and they're cancelling out, why not take the GP as 12 minus 12, 12 minus 12, and so on. This GP satisfies the given condition. Sum of first x terms, sum of the first 4 terms would be the same as the sum of first 6 terms. Yeah, this would satisfy. So basically, this is the geometric progression that satisfies this. Then the ninth term of the geometric progression. First term is 12, second term is minus 12, third term is 12, fourth is minus 12. So because the 11th term, the sum of 11 terms, I did to get as positive 12, I've taken the first term as 12, so that when I take it at 2 odd numbers, the total would be positive. So the ninth term would be, as every for odd number term, it is 12. But can't be determined. Is there another possibility? Is there another possibility? If I would have said I wouldn't want to waste time on that. I'm willing to take that chance. If the cubic equation, this, so I've only answered 3. Is a cubic equation this 2x cube minus bx square plus 343x minus 686 is equal to 0 has 3 real roots in a geometric progression. All the 3 roots are in a GP. So x, okay, then find the value of b. Okay, any cubic equation, basically if the roots are alpha, so let me use simpler letters, p, pr, pr square. The product of the roots would be p cube, r cube. So pr the whole cube. So if I take the cube root, and that should be equal to 686 with a minus sign. So minus or minus positive divided by 2. So that's 343. The middle root is 7. So this is 7 by r, this is 7 plus r, and sum of roots taken 2 at a time. So basically 7 7 into, so p square r plus p r square, sorry, p square r into p square r cube plus p square r square. This would be 7 square, that's 49. And then this would be p square and r common, p square and r common. So that will be 1 plus r square, square r common, p r square. So out of which p into r is 7. So this is nothing but p. So if I just multiply wherever there is a 7, so instead of PR, I'll keep a 7 only. If I keep a 7, so that's 7 P and PR square. So PR 7 into PR square, P square R square, this is 49. And this would have been 7 into P and 7 into PR square. So 7P would have come out common and you would have got 1 plus R square. Even if I multiply this inside, can I get rid of any one of them? So that would have become 7P, 7 times P plus PR square. I'd rather multiply and divide throughout by P. Will that help? That's equal to the second coefficient divided by this thing. So that's equal to 343 by 2. Okay, where am I stuck? Am I wasting so much time on this single question? As you would solve in the geometric progression, find the value of B. I am not using options. So the product is, the middle root is 7. And their sum is an integer. Why not check any numbers? 7 by 2. Not getting anything, not getting any help. If I divide throughout by P, if I divide throughout by 7, that becomes P plus PR square plus 7 is equal to 343 is 49 by 2. Okay, so P plus PR square is equal to P plus PR square is coming out to be equal to 24.5 minus 7. So that's 35 by 2. All right. So P into R is 7. And the addition of these two is this thing. I think it's 3.5 plus 14. 14 plus 3.5 is 17.5. Yes, it's coming true. Why did I waste so much time? So B is nothing but sum of the roots. B by 2 is the sum of roots divided by 2. So B is going to be, I have spent so much time here. The roots are 3.5, 7 and 14. Therefore, their addition comes out to be 21, 21, 24.5. 24.5, that's 49 by 2 is equal to minus B by 2. And therefore, B is equal to minus 49. So minus B by 2. So therefore, B is equal to 49. I shouldn't have spent so much time on this question. I should have done it faster. Parmeshwar, who visited into notice that one of his incisors, which have a unique shape of parabola, y is equal to x square minus 1 is damaged. He approves the tooth and places a rectangular bridge. I am not sure. Garden is on the form of an isosceles triangle. I think I'll just check the question paper quickly. Garden is in form of an isosceles triangle. BC dog runs around it and keeps a distance of 3 meters outside, while the grocer is inside the triangle. Keeping a distance. While the grocer inside the triangle traces a circular path within a triangle such that its sides are tangents to the path, assuming 2 animals. Okay, I think this one is doable. Then Raja Praja 2 series. First term 1 plus x, second term, third term. This is a GP. Raja is also following a GP. Maharaja creates a series defined as Ri into Pi. Khaja is asked to find the coefficient of x to the power 7 in this series. Khaja calculates it and calls it k. Find k. I think manageable. So question number 10, 9, 10 manageable, 11 body fat, Jan Feb and all. All right. If P has two values, P1, P2, such that 12 raised to P squared log of 3 raised to the base 5 is equal to 5 raised to log of 3 to the base 12, then P minus 2 is equal to. Okay. 5 raised to log of 3 to the base 12. If I recall properly, the base of indices and log can be interchanged. I'll just look into the 12th one, 13th question. Question number 13, Arti toddler Y precarious point placed at point A, worried about the fact that she might. Okay, I'll skip the 12th one for now. 13th, I'll try. Potato bucket race, 2 meters, fresh potatoes. Is there any easy question which I might not want to miss? I think the 15th one, set of all values of x satisfying this. So basically this greater than 0. So therefore x plus 2. If this is greater than 0, basically log of this thing. All right. All right. Yeah, 15th one I would want to try. Is there any sitter which I don't want to miss? Ashish draws this thing. How's the DI? All right, I think I'll just try a few questions on the go and decide. So this one seems easy. This one is manageable. There's an isosceles triangle 13. I'm thinking this is 13. This is BC is 10. So this is 5. So this is 12. And then there is a basically, all right, I just need to find out the in center of this. So if this is 5, this is 5, this is 13. So this is 8 and this is a right angled triangle. If this is, we need to find what? Grasshopper is running on that circle, and then there's this guy who's running at a distance of 3 meters on the outside. Assuming route travels at same speed, the number of rounds grasshopper in the time it takes to run one complete path. Okay. Number of rounds would be inversely proportional to the ratio of the distances. Takes in time it takes the dog to complete one round of the garden is X. Okay. So basically, here I need 2 pi r. So 2 pi r, this is an altitude. No. So basically here this is 5, this is 5, this is 8. And the ratio of opposite side for this theta, the ratio of opposite side to the hypotenuse is 5 is to, so opposite, sorry, adjacent to the hypotenuse is 12 by, sorry, adjacent to opposite is, or opposite to adjacent is 5 by 8. So yeah, this would be 5 by 8. Opposite upon adjacent is 5 by 12. I'm sorry. So that will be 5 by 12 of 8. That will come out to be 2 by 3. That's 10 by 3. So this one is 10 by 3. So 12 minus 10 by 3 will give me the radius. That's 36 minus 10. 26 by. So have I done it right? No, doesn't look right. Wait. This is 8. This one is going to be This one is 10 by 3. I've already found the radius. The radius is 10 by 3. Yeah. So the radius is 10 by 3. Therefore, the 2 pi r would be the 2 pi r would be. Okay, I am a little confused now. If this is 5, this is 5, this is 3. I shouldn't have wasted time on this one. Let's run ahead. Raja and Praja define two series, R and P. Okay. Madhya creates a series Ri into Pi. 1 plus x raised to the power 10. X raised to the power this, x square into this, x square is this. If I observe carefully, this is the remaining part of, if I have a series 1 plus x raised to the power 11 minus x raised to the power 11, that would be a minus b, that would be 1 into what we actually have over here. So this is what this series is. And in this, he is calculating the coefficient of, okay, I'm so sorry, x raised to the power 7 and calls it k. Find the value of k. So basically here the coefficient of x raised to the power 7, whatever we have it over here will be the same, and that will be nothing but 11c7 into, 11c7 would be the answer. That would come out to be 11c4. That's 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 upon 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 into 4, 8 cancels out, 3 cancels out. 11 into 10, 110 into 3, 330 would be the answer. Thank God I've got an answer. I was losing confidence. Dataset contains body fat percent of 2 actors across 5 months. Rahul Rajesh 19 PA, 15 QB, XX. Rajesh doesn't exercise in the month of Jan and March, so doesn't calculate it for these 2 months. Median of the data set of both the actors is the same. The mean of the values for Rahul's body fat is F%. P and Q are the roots of the quadratic equation. 1.5x 36 0 divided throughout by 1.5. I think I'll make it x square minus 50x plus 936 divided by 1.5. That's 624 equal to 0. Two numbers whose multiplication is 624. 625 minus 1. That's 24 into 26. So 24 and 26 are the two roots that we will be looking for. P and Q are 24 and 26. A, X, and B lie between 24 and 26. The median of Rahul's median would be 19, 20, 15, 19, 24, 26. 15, 19, 24, 26. And A and B, the median, the value of Rahul's data set is this. Median of the data set of both the actors' body fat is the same. Okay. 15, 19, 24, 26 and X. So X could also be the median. Find 10F. Value, the mean of values for Rahul's body fat percentage. What I believe is happening over here, that's happening over here is X is the median. So the mean of Rahul's body fat percentage is 15, 19, 24, 26. Median of the data set is the same. A is between 24 and 26. And I'm guessing these are all integers only. So if that's 24, 26. If we take X to be 25, I think that solves the issue. So X is the median, yeah. X is 25 and therefore we'll take X as 25. 19 plus 24 is 33, 43, 43, 15, 58, 58 plus 26. 65, 65, 19, 74, 84. 84 plus 25 would have been 84 plus 25 would have been 84 plus 25 would have been 110. 110 and 110 84 plus 109. 109 is 5x. The 109 is 5f, therefore 218 would be the answer. If p has two possible values, p1, p2, such that this is this. I think I should have known this property. What is the property? Log of b to the base c. If I take log of log to the base c on both the sides, log of c to the base a to the base c into log of b to the base c, this becomes basically, I want to convert it to another base maybe. So I convert to not sure. I've forgotten the property maybe, so I'll move ahead. RPA toddler playing seesaw curve, the form y equal to is, and it's precariously placed at point A. Worried about the fact that she might fall into her parents' standard point. These two, okay. Wrong seesaw. This is precariously placed at point A. Worried about the fact she might fall anytime. Parents stand at 5, 0, 5, 0, and 5, 0 and minus 1, 0. And this girl is along this curve. Okay. This is also a similar seesaw to point D, but closer to a mother such that ACD are, where is A? So C, so basically it's something like this. Triangle ABC. C to triangle DBC is BBC. I can just think of any point, 1, 0. I'll think of the point. The point has to be ahead of it. So maybe I'll just think of 0.5, 0.5 and 0.25. So x goes from minus 1 to minus 0.5, and y goes from 0 to 0.25. So its slope is half. So if this line has a slope of 1/2, when x goes, yeah, it's 1 and 1. Yeah, basically it's this point is 1, 1, and this point is minus 0.5, 0.25. So therefore this distance is 1/4 of this total distance, and hence if I look at these two triangles, the base is the same, the height would also be 1/4, hence the ratio of areas would also be 1:4. Oops, 1:4 is not there. From 1 to 0.5. Minus 1 to 0.5, minus 0.5, and minus 0.5 to 1. The height is, yeah, 1:4. The base is the same. Area ABC to area DBC. I'm getting the ratio as 1:4:1, but that's not there in the options. So we'll have to move on. I have attempted this in a very dramatic way. In a potato race, a bucket is placed at the starting point, which is 2 meters from the first potato, and the other potatoes are placed 3 meters in a straight line. There are 20 such potatoes in the sequence described. I will just look at the questions which I can easily solve. That's on first potato. 3 meters apart in a straight line. There are 20 such potatoes placed in the sequence described. Rakesh forms a series by measuring the distance for every potato with the bucket placed at the origin. Calculates the sum of reciprocals of products of two consecutive terms in the sequence. The distance of every potato with the bucket placed at the origin, and calculates the sum of reciprocals of two consecutive terms in the sequence of one and calls it R. Find 59 R. I think this is a common sequence that I found. 1 by 2 calculates the sum of reciprocals of products of two consecutive terms. So 1 by 2 into basically 1 by 2 into 5 plus 1 by 5 into 8 plus 1 by 8 into 11 and so on. I think I've seen such a sequence, and there are 20 such potatoes. So there'll be first into second, second into third, and so on till 19th term. So that will be 3 into 1, 3 into 19, 56. 1 by 56 into 1 by 59. And if we know this is nothing but 1/3 of 1 by 2 minus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 8 and so on till 1 by 59. So minus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5 and so on, everything cancels out. This will be 1/3 of 1 by 2 minus 1 by 59. That comes out to 59 minus 2. That's 57. 57 by 57 by 118 into 1/3. So that's 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 20, 3 goes, how many times? 19 times. And anything else that cancels out? 59 minus 2, that's, am I still not getting the answer? Acha, okay, so there it is. So basically that's 19 by 118 into 59. So 59 goes once, 59 goes twice. The answer 19 by 2, yeah, it's there in the options. Moving on 2.9 minutes. Okay, the set of all the values of log. Okay, x minus 3 is greater than 0, therefore x is greater than 3. If x is greater, if the base is positive, log of x minus 3 to the base x plus 2, and if this is greater than 1, x minus 3 is greater than 3, and therefore x is greater than 6. Thank God. Avinash and Bhavesh are standing at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 have been attempted. Avinash and Bhavesh are standing at coordinates. This Chandra, who's standing at image of the point 3, 3 with respect to this line, is having coordinates x, y. Find the value of x plus y. A and B are standing at 2, 3, 5, 6, which is the replica of the coordinate plane. Chandra, who is standing at an image of the point 3, 3 with respect to the line having the coordinates x, y. Okay. So 2 to 3, 2, 3 and 5, 6. It is a line with the slope 1, 1, slope 1, and 3, 3 is somewhere over here. So basically it will be one level upper 2, 4, and 2, 4 x plus y is 6. Wow. 3 players ABC take turns rolling a single fair die. The first person to roll a 6 or 2 wins the game. They roll in the order A, B, C, 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 A, B. ABC, CAB, ABC, CAB, and so on. Probability of A winning is X% more than B. Probability of C winning is Y. Okay, I could have done this, but the time is very limited. Very straightforward questions only. Kaju Katli in the shape of a regular quadratic size ratio of AE. AE is the body diagonal, and AC. AC, okay, AC is A to C and A to E. I think I know this. I think I know this. A to A and 30, 60, 90 angle, root 3. But hang on. AE to AC is, okay, so that's 2 by root 3. Oh, difficult second set. Right. I need to keep myself in track. In an age inundated with information, few metaphors remain as enduring and instructive as Plato's allegory of the cave, written in the Republic as a dialogue between Socrates and Plato. And okay, this is in the allegory asks, what would happen if one prisoner were inside the entire lives facing this wall? The prisoners came to believe that this real. What would happen if one prisoner were freed? Initially disappointed, they would eventually become to realize the truth of the outside world. If this entitled individual to return to the cave, their eyes now accustomed to the light would struggle to adjust to the darkness. They felt would normally reject the free prisoners' claims, but might even react with hostility. To them, the truth is not only unbelievable, it's dangerous. Allegory proves that the perception truth social yet enlightenment comes at a cost. Free person cannot unsee the truth and is alienated from both the cave and its inner the reluctance of those still chained to embrace the world. Plato's cave remains deeply relevant today, whether it is created so media or okay. And if confronted with the greater truth, which of the following best captures the meaning of the word allegory used in the poem? A history, the fiction story intended the symbolic narrative conveying debunked scientific theory tested through. So basically, allegory here is entertainment or historical is not the answer. Answer should be C or D, the symbolic narrative conveying deeper philosophical truths or scientific theory tested through observation. The answer is option C. It is a symbolic narrative conveying deeper philosophical truth here. Clearly. What is the central philosophical tension explored through the allegory? Fact versus opinion, belief versus knowledge, emotion versus logic, religion versus science. Okay, ideologies. The allegory challenge, are we truly seeing the world as it is or only shadows of what we are conditioned to believe? And if confronted with greater truth, which I believe is belief versus knowledge, because someone who had the knowledge of outside and yeah, it basically is directly probes the tension between between belief and knowledge, perception and truth. It's clearly mentioned over here, so I think this should be the answer. What does the cave primarily symbolize in the context of the allegory? Okay, place of physical confinement, a society governed by oppressive laws, divide between rich and poor, a mental state shaped by illusion and ignorance. It is not just about society or anything. I think the deeper idea is mental state of illusion and ignorance. The description of the freed prisoners' inability to unsee the truth primarily serves to illustrate yes, the permanence of knowledge, the superiority of experiential knowledge over theoretical understanding, the ethical obligation to educate others despite resistance, the futility of attending. Clearly, the first one. Once I have known something, I can't unknow it. So, permanence of knowledge once acquired. Which of the following inferences can be most reasonably drawn from the passage? Modern individuals are analogous to cave prisoners. That they often accept consider this. No. It is relevant, but does not mean everyone is that way. Although individual they are considered reason. Plato's cave primarily serves as a commentary on psychological effects of physical confinement. Individuals who defy the social norms encounter alienation as they're perceived as a threat to others. Basically, individuals who defy. Now the problem is individual who defy social norms, but does every individual defy social norm? No, I think the most relevant one would be modern individuals are analogous to cave prisoners is what would be the best inference, because individuals, not every individual who defies social norm whether it is curated, it could be D also. I'm a little confused here. Plato's cave remains deeply relevant today, whether it is curated images on the social media or ideologies filtered through echo chambers. We often mistake illusion for substance. The allegory. So, prisoner cannot unsee the truth, and yeah. So perception of truth and reliable is modern individuals are analogous to cave prisons in that they often accept constructed or filter representations as reality. We'll just quickly make a move after this. Individuals who defy social norms encounter alienation. Yes, probably as they are perceived, as they're seen as a threat. Is that correct? The real or other? Yeah, I think this can be interpreted. I'll come back to it later. Let's move ahead. It can be most resistance to new ideas as a rational defense against potentially harmful information and neutral consumer intelligence inferiority or deeply ingrained psychological tendency shaped by combating homeward of every reaction discipline section exposure to truth. Rational and neutral consumer. Yeah, that is what I think the author is trying to infer here. And North Korean leader Kim Jong Un urged women to produce more babies, citing concerns about declining birth rate and impact on national power. Similarly, Japanese government this week released alarming statistics that up to 42% of Japanese women born in 2000 remain childless. In 2000, only these many babies were joining this trend. Okay, this is regarding North Korea, Japan, but not unique to only these countries. Even that many high-income nations will face population decline in the near future. Currently, two-thirds of the global population lives in countries where fertility rates are below 2.1. That's the threshold required to maintain population in for okay in 12 countries. Japan another big demographic shift urgency, but why exactly population decline seems such a critical issue? Japan's population decline is urbanization, which continues to suppress birth rates, urban areas. Okay, reasons for key factor. What's the key factor? As a result, Japan's population has been steadily decreasing and aging since 2008. Government policies to reverse the trend have largely failed due to absence of meaningful cultural change or the parental leave, paternal leave. Likewise, despite financial support, women are now pursuing higher education careers and to shoulder the traditional burden of childcare and household responsibilities. Uh, while the number of daycare centers and enrolled children has increased since 2000, urban areas still face an acute shortage of childcare facilities. Waiting lists continue. Japan will, with this projected within 8 years, number of women childbearing age in Japan will decline to a point where population recovery may become irreversible given the scale of cultural transformation required and Japan's massive public debt. It remains doubtful whether the government will meet the challenge in time. Additional broader solutions are needed to address the imbalance of the old age dependency in the old age dependency ratio. Okay. The passage most strongly suggests that the concept of national power mentioned in the opening paragraph is linked to national power. Military expansion, the economic, social sustainability of a country's workforce, the cultural homogeneity of the population, enforced through it's clearly national power is not the military here. It's the overall, economic and social sustainability. Yes. Which of the following best explains why Japan's demographic crisis is potentially irreversible within the next decade? Okay. So it was around irreversible. Uh, where was it mentioned that is irreversible? Yeah. So it is projected that within just 8 years, the number of women this given the scale. Huh? Which of the this why this would it remains Japan's while the number of daycare centers has increased, the urban areas still face acute shortage of child care, families, and waiting lists continue to grow. It is projected that within just 8 years, it will become irreversible given the scale of cultural transformation required. The Japan's massive public debt, it remains doubtful whether the government will meet the challenge in time. Additional broader solutions are needed to address. Yeah. The population of elders is expected to double by this thing. The cultural reforms are too radical to implement within the economic constraints of the society. Uh, the Shen will soon fall below replacement levels. The Japanese government has suspended funding for this thing. I think cultural reforms required would be too radical to be implemented within the constraints. So that's the problem. Given the cultural transformation required and Japan's massive public debt, it means we're in challenging time. Yeah. Which of the following best captures the irony embedded in Japan's efforts to address population decline? Although urbanization has contributed to declining birth rates, the country's economic growth can depend heavily on urban development. Despite the availability of support measures such as parental leave, financial and entrenched social norms prevent workforce restructuring has created greater employment, yet many women remain reluctant to take on these roles. That's the reverse. Even as birth rates decline, the country continues to restrict immigration from nations with higher fertility rates. Nothing is mentioned as such. The answer is option B. Which of the following statements would weaken the argument that Japan's population decline is driven mainly by uh, urbanization? So here, because it was mentioned, basically urbanization was one of the key reasons. Demographic shift with the urgency by the population is urbanization, which commonly suppresses birth rates. Urban areas discourage child rearing due to long work hours, high living costs, and limited childcare options. So, if that is not happening, then that would weaken fertility rates in rural areas of Japan have dropped at a pace similar to urban centers. So, for instance, most weaken the argument that Japan's population decline is driven mainly by urbanization. The number of rural income families has increased dramatically over past decades. Surveys show that urban women delay childbearing due to career goals. Urbanization has slowed in Japan, yet birth rate continues to fall. Urbanization would have slowed, but urbanization would be the reason. The clear reason is this one. If fertility rate has dropped in rural areas also, then clearly urbanization could not be the reason. Which philosophical or policy-based imbalance does the author identify as the primary failure of current pro-nationalist, pro-natalist interventions? Which philosophical or policy-based imbalance does the author identify primary failure of current pro-natalist interventions? Yeah, the pro-natalist philosophical or policy-based imbalance. I think I'd seen the word somewhere. So, pro-natalist interventions, one of the key reverse the trend have largely failed due to the absence of meaningful cultural change. Although parental leave is legally available, social norms discourage men, particularly fathers, from taking it, fearing job loss, social stigma. Likewise, despite financial support, many women now pursue. All right. The imbalance between the number of daycare centers and the number of children enrolled. The imbalance between UN fertility projections and the actual birth statistics. The imbalance between legal provisions and the cultural enforcement. And the imbalance between high income nations and this thing. Clearly, the answer is option C. It can be most reasonably inferred that the author views the relationship between women's education and declining fertility as a direct causal relationship driven by economic factors, a complex interaction involving shifting priorities and resistance to traditional roles, a temporary phenomenon that will reverse with better policy incentives. It is not an overstated concern because difficult, basically high living costs and women living in cities often face a difficult trade-off between building a career and raising a family, especially in Japan, which is the world's third most expensive country for raising. Many couples prioritize career over parenthood, and even with financial support, women. It was mentioned financial support. Women still go for women living of. There's something about financial support. Yeah, in the next one. As a result, even with likewise, despite financial support, many women are now pursuing higher educational careers are reluctant to shoulder the traditional burden of childcare and household responsibilities. The direct causal relationship driven by economic factors, social interaction involving shifting priorities and resistance to traditional roles. And because it says despite financial support, so it could be temporary phenomenon, no, and overstated, no. So I'm confused between the first and the second one. Declining fertility and women's education. Basically, it involves, because they are not willing to take up traditional responsibilities or roles or household responsibilities, and therefore they would want to, take up higher education, and that has ultimately led to declining fertility, maybe. He repeated apologies. Her repeated apologies function less as an admission of fault than less as an admission of fault than spontaneous expression of attempt to genuine effort of people involving as an instrument than a calculated maneuver and conflict avoidance. Less as an admission of fault and a genuine effort at reconciliation. An attempt at emotional transparency, no. A spontaneous expression of remorse, answer would be, I believe, option C. A prominent business person's corporate headquarters, the former base of a now defunct airline, was dashed to recover the dues demanded by the former base of now defunct airline was written off the name, put under the hammer, called to order, brought to book, put under the hammer to recover the dues. Yeah, basically put to auction, maybe. The stand up comics jokes have become okay, something which is outdated. Old guard, old wives' tales, no. Old flame, old hat. Maybe I'm taking a guess here. Old hat or old flame, something which is outdated. Maybe old hat or old flame. No, old hat. In the team meeting, it was decided that someone had to stay late to complete the presentation, and unfortunately, Ayansh drew the short straw, threw the yoke, no, jumped the gun, no, went into a halfway house, no, I think drew a short straw. James Bond has long been the model of freewheeling, fuddy-duddy, killjoy. I'm not sure. I think it should be killjoy, showing danger and excitement. There is dash to this old. There is dash to this old, seemingly abandoned house as it holds a rich history. There is more than meets the eye to this old. There is hidden face value. There is sixes and sevens. I am not sure about these phrases. There is more than meets the eye. There is more than meets the eye. Doesn't sound right, but not sure. I would skip this one. What was present as a neutral framework eventually revealed itself to be covertly partisan, basically biased or something. So what was present as a neutral framework eventually revealed itself to be covertly partisan, maybe. Should you require assistance during your stay, please contact the front desk at any time. Should you require assistance during your stay? Require. Should you require? Yes, answer should be option C. Our planet is bursting with places and that are ancient and newly discovered, and yet there exists several surreal destinations. Our planet is bursting with places that are ancient and newly discovered, and yet there exist. Our planet is bursting with places that are ancient and newly discovered, and yet there exist several surreal destinations. Exist. And yet there exist. And yet there exist several surreal destinations that make us wonder about the great mysteries of nature. The meticulously crafted plan eventually came undone when the key witness on whose testimony the entire strategy hinged. On whose. When the key witness on whose testimony the entire strategy hinged. Upon whom's. The museum features exhibitions that are both visually stunning and intellectually engaging, but there remain numerous. There remain numerous. I think this paper has slightly easier grammar. Being assertive is to, or maybe, I am just being overconfident here. Being assertive is to express your thoughts, needs, and desires confidently and respectfully, and having your voice heard and your needs met. Being assertive is to express your thoughts, needs, and desires confidently and respectfully, And so yeah, basically being assertive have is to express your thoughts, needs, and desires confidently and respectfully, and to have your voice heard and needs met. Confused, or should we be to having or should we to have? Being assertive is to express your thoughts, needs, and desires confidently and respectfully. Being assertive is to having your voice, is to having a voice heard, or is to have your voice. Being assertive is to have your voice heard and your needs met. Being assertive is to have your voice heard and your needs met. Is to have your voice being heard. Just to think of the time of the Vikings, people first one as well. Over the past 40 years or so, that picture has become much more nuanced as we see the poets and uh, we see the poets, traders, and settlers alongside the stereotypical raiders who were nonetheless real. And most people imagine what they think of the Vikings. Dash. Okay, I'm left with almost 20 questions. I need to speed up. We no longer see an outward impulse or intentional, but I'm a little poor at para completion, so I'll come to it in the end. Impressionism, characterized by its use of bright colors and loose brushstrokes, the painting style. Characterized should be the word. Is a painting style that originated in France. Yes. Language policies, especially the perceived this perceived mandate can't be perceived. It can be imposition or compulsion, maybe. And imposition of Hindi have reignited debates between the central and southern states like Tamil Nadu. The panel's decision was not only controversial but also deeply divisive. Deeply divisive. It sentiments that had long remained dormant. Yes, it awakened. Public expressions of happiness often invite a simplistic dash. Public expressions of happiness often invite a simplistic that visible joy signals the dash of inner conflict. Generally, interpretation is what I'm thinking. That visible joy signals the resolution of inner conflict. Yes, resolution of inner, yet such an assumption rests on fragile understanding of human. Yes, I think this is very right. The state government decided to enact an ordinance or establishing the state goods and services tax law, amending, promulgate. Enact an ordinance. I don't know what's the I think amendment and promulgate an ordinance. Yeah. Egyptian Prince Moses, upon discovering his dash as a Jewish slave lineage or ancestry or roots, embarks on a dash to free his people from bondage. On his quest to free his people from when his plea is denied by his brothers Ramesses, the new pharaoh a series of horrific plagues, malicious plagues, tremendous plagues, ghastly heritage, determination, embarks on a determination to, no, I think quest would be right. Yes. Moving on. Okay, there's an RC, and where are the parajumbles? Okay, so I'll attempt the parajumbles first. Five numbers. Okay, the essay is that redefined. It is the essay that redefined how we think about hunger, gatherers, and ourselves. The idea that life in the past was better is of course not new. Extending at least as far back as Jean Jacques Noble Savage. It came about in 1992. Okay, the essay is here. It is the essay that we define. So the idea that life in the past was better is of course now Savage. So I think two should come first. But the 20th version, the idea that this is this, but the 20th century version of primitivist thesis can be tracked back to original affluent society and essay by the late entrepreneur uses this. Came about in what came about? It came about in 1966. So the idea that past life was better, it came out in 1966 when anthropologists about man the hunter. Up to that point, the popular was view of hunter gatherers was rather dim, but the 20th century essay, mm, but the 20th version of no, so let me twist. I think 243 uh 243 5 and 1 should be the order. 243 5 and 1, but up to that point the popular view of hunter gatherers was rather dim. It is the essay that redefined how we think about the hunter gatherers and ourselves. I'm not sure, but yes. Their skulls, pelvises, and head are reptilian. How such large creatures, which weigh in some cases as much as okay, the fossil remains of the first prime vertebrates is intrigued for more than 2 centuries. Perhaps the least controversial assertion about is that they were the fossil remains of the first prime vertebrates. Three have intrigued. What was the intriguing thing? Uh, the how such large creatures blah 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 are among the questions scientists have puzzled over. Okay, 3241 maybe 3241. How such large creatures which will pirate hang glider solve the problem with power. Right, exactly what these creatures are, reptiles or birds, are among questions that scientists have puzzled over. Finally, hang glider and space spans of 8 to 12 meters solve the problem of power supply. Among questions include their skulls, reptilian. The fossil remains of first five vertebrates have paleontologists for more than 2 centuries. What was the intriguing thing? How such large creatures are among the questions that puzzled scientists. 324131. All right, let's go ahead. As at the simplest and most emerges in the art portrait and the indicator of this. What is surprising is that it was used despite its association with inconsistency. Ethereal nature is not surprising. That it features one and two is a clear connection. What is surprising? What is surprising? Four is an end. What is surprising? So given the moons, this is this. At the simplest and most straightforward, the moon emerges in antiquity as a way of indicating workings of the divine within creation. Given the moon's range, so 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. Given the moon's range, can I try the? I'm a little hung up on this. Which of the following best captures the role of Shamu and films like Free Willy in the transcript? Thank you for joining. Let me begin with the question. August and intelligent create the accounts of Salish far more unsettling. We should understand the context. It is indeed striking contrast. Observation from the wild, such as orcas separating a young humpback whale from its calf from its mother, reveal behavior that can appear ruthless, invisible, yet for such a model, the whale entirely friendly, almost playful animal. The divergence tells us that less about impulses. That shift perception seems quite arrived when this significant turning point came in the mid 20th century when orcas first displayed in this their earlier reputation was fierce and pretty diminished rapidly. Audiences encountered performance figures like Shamu and later through freely even documentaries like Blackfish reframed aggression. Which is following the role of Shamu and Freeway in the transcript. They provide scientific, they contribute to reconfiguration process and forecast. They corrected the earlier Mikhail, they reinforce the idea of creativity, I think, reconfiguration of public perception by humanizing orcas. Which one of the best describes Dr. Hal's overall view of how we understand animal behavior? So, Yeah, I think this is right. Also, following has view of the behavior. Oh, this was an easy one. Knowledge of observation, scientific inquiry, planning, various phenomenon, in biological beliefs. Oh, sorry. Clear response. I'm not attempting this anymore. So, guys, let's look at the overall score. I hope I have cleared the cutoffs. 24, 31, and 97. Okay, so basically, I'm hoping that you all are better than me in the VA section as far as the QA cutoffs were concerned. So those who have taken the test, let's go to the portal and check the overall analytics. The test was in fact indeed challenging. If you look at the cutoffs, the cutoff for the QA short answer section was 16. So I've been able to score 24. I think I attempted 8, so maybe I've got a couple of them incorrect. MCQ section, the cutoff was 28. I've scored 31. So that's quite a close call there. But then if I've just cleared the QA cutoffs, I should have done well in the verbal ability section. But verbal ability section, I've missed the cutoff by a small margin. So by 15 marks rather. So I need to, kind of analyze and identify where I could have done better. So if you are, someone who's preparing for IPMAT Indore, I can tell you this test was actually, a very close reflection of, how your actual paper could be. Even if the QA section is difficult, it was challenging in this paper. And the way I attempted the short answer section, I think I was very happy with that. But the way I attempted the MCQ section, I think, I faltered in between. I spent a lot of time on questions that I should not have attempted. So maybe, my time management should have been better. I should have attempted the DI. Yet, to ensure that ensuring that we do well in the, at least to clear the cutoff is important. More importantly, if you notice, in the end, when I was doing the QA MCQ section, a few questions were very, very, solved very quickly. I think I had attempted all 15, but remember, in the end, I had answered 5-6 questions of QA short answer randomly. I recall answering 8 questions genuinely in the short answer section, 7 or 8, out of which I've got 6 correct. MCQ section, in the end, if you recall, I just solved few questions in less than a minute, and that helped me. So maybe, my question selection was not on point in this test. And I wouldn't comment too much about the verbal ability section. Although my accuracy was decent, but I should have attempted more. But that is something which I am not an expert in. I am a QA mentor, so basically, I don't, kind of solve a lot of VA or practice a lot of VA. So that was expected. But generally, someone who's preparing genuinely for these entrances, I could see that a good score in the verbal ability section would have been around maybe, a 130 or so, 130 plus. In the QA MCQ section, I think a good score could have reached around 40, 35 to 40. So maybe a couple of more questions and QA MCQ would have been, quite good. I'm quite satisfied with my QA short answer section score, right? So after the test, you should get into the question-wise analytics, also check, where you spent a lot of time, whether you've got that correct or not. The first question shows 11 minutes because I analyzed or, evaluated the entire paper there. One question where I spent a lot of time and got that incorrect was this 11th one, which I was fairly confident. I don't know where I went wrong. So maybe I'll have to revisit that. Then the MCQ section, I think, I should not have spent so much time on the third question, or maybe, 6 minutes on a question which I did not attempt, the 9th one. So these are mistakes that I should have avoided. It is just that, we as mentors sometimes, because we are out of touch with timed testing, sometimes these kind of errors creep in. but you have to be mindful that these are the errors that we have to avoid. So you would have seen that I spent time on questions which I should not have. Maybe, if I would have gone to the end and tried the DI section, I could have increased my score quite a bit. Okay. Verbal ability, yeah, basically, the mistakes are expected. So if 33, 26, maybe if I would have attempted a 40 or so, I could have got some correct. So I've got one parajumbles also correct. So maybe, I missed out on the RC. The RC questions should have been attempted instead of the parajumbles that I did in the end. So maybe there I could have increased my score, at least would have come close to the cutoff, right? So I hope all of you were able to, get some value out of this session. Keep checking the IMS YouTube channel, and we'll keep posting such videos or keep hosting such sessions. So till the next session, all the best and good night. Bye-bye.